So, Jules, you are a portfolio career mentor and a future of work commentator. I am personally so excited about having the future of work conversation, and I almost need to keep remembering in the next 30 minutes that we're on a podcast. So, can you keep reminding me?
Yes, I
First
will.
of all, because
Well, I'm actually the worst person for that because I'll just keep talking.
I could go off script here with
Yeah.
just all the things that I want to know, but actually, if I want to know it, everyone listening will as well. Can we just start with a vibe check on the future of work? So I want to talk future of work. I'm specifically interested in talking about the future of work for the type of women listening who are coaches, mentors, consultants. If you were to do a vibe check, an outlook, a feeling, when we hear future of work, there is so much doom and gloom.
Yeah.
But something that I love about you is that you are far more discerning than just looking at the doom and gloom, top layer. How would you describe the sentiment of the future of work?
Yeah, okay. I'll try to keep this succinct. But when I think about the future of work and what I'm seeing in terms of the patterns and what we're seeing with people coming out of corporate and running more of their own businesses and being solopreneurs, what we're seeing is that there's a lot more agency. That's why I'm really excited about it. So women have a lot more control, flexibility, and the ability to actually earn more money in their careers and whatever they choose to do versus being locked in a full-time job.
Yes.
Some of the patterns we're seeing is that organizations, because of technological changes, more emphasis on shareholder value, organizations are shrinking. So the FTE or the full-time equivalents are decreasing, but that opens up so much opportunity for the flexible workforce. And when I talk about the flexible workforce and consultants and coaches, I'm not talking about the gig economy where we're trading time for money. We're doing, 5 surveys an hour to earn $60. That's not my jam and that's not what I promote. I'm talking about monetizing your skill set that you've gained over a number of years and then producing that for a B2B or direct-to-consumer business. And, there's so much opportunity. I'm really excited about the possibilities of how we can earn money in the future. It's just the sky's the limit.
I love that you say that because when I have always heard people talk about the gig economy, I'm like, oh, that's not my business. But when I hear you talk, I'm like, oh, that is my business. That's the world that I feel like I've created, and I feel like my clients are creating actual high value skill sets and being really discerning about creating these models which are essentially encoded with their intellectual property.
Correct. Yeah.
So I feel like that's maybe triggered a few more things that you want to share.
Yeah, and I think that the thing that and I try not to get on my high horse too much.
Go there.
But
I love
I'm
it.
a passionate person.
Get high.
When we talk about portfolio careers and why I've specifically chosen those words and how I support women is because traditionally a portfolio career is you have years behind you in terms of some sort of expertise, and we don't trade time for money. So I'm not on an hourly rate. I have my intellectual property, my bespoke framework. I've worked on mine with you. And that is, I'm selling you 20 years of experience collapsed into a 6-month container, as an example.
Yes.
And that is not something corporate women are taught. So a lot of what I'm supporting my clients with who are coming out of corporate and saying, how do you actually monetize skills? Because they're encoded to say, oh, how much do I earn an hour? And then they try to match their corporate salary. And I'm like, that's not the game here.
Yes.
And I think men are really good at this. And there's a lot of education for women around this. We don't trade time for money. We have incredible expertise and we do value-based pricing. And that's how we show our value in the market.
So for women who are already doing this, who are, say, coaches and consultants, do you, maybe you have data or maybe you have thoughts around, people, ideal clients coming into this sector? So let's say, for example, I'm just going to use my own business here because it's easiest for people listening. When I hear that, I'm so excited because I'm like, I have so many people coming into this dark side of the world who I'm going to get to serve over the next 5 to 10 years. And it's really fascinating because this obviously comes at a time. It's like the future of work is, there's multiple prongs right now. So there's this conversation. then there's the AI
Mhm.
conversation. And I think really what I'm asking here is like, how does that all fit
Yeah.
together? So is it like we should all feel incredibly excited because there's more people who are also going to be in, this portfolio career
Yeah.
club with us, but also are there considerations because of AI? Like how are we going to set ourselves up to succeed with this?
Yeah, and let me know if I'm answering this correctly. So how I look at particularly with AI, I'm also not thinking in a linear fashion. So you're
Okay.
either a corporate person or you have a portfolio career, or if you're a consultant or coach, you also don't have some sort of relationship with a corporate organization.
Yeah. So you're thinking about it probably like less compartmentalized is how
Yeah,
I just spoke
so
about it.
I think of it as a portfolio of work,
Yes.
which for me has been the most freeing component of the way I'm
Yeah.
working, because then I've got so much more opportunity.
Yep.
And some women come to me and say, "Oh, do I not have my own business because I've got this corporate job that I do fractionally for 2 days a week?" I'm like, "No, that's one of your income streams."
Totally.
And how I see AI playing into this whole future of work, it's so interesting. I always argue about the tech bros online. You
Yeah.
you you see me
Yeah.
complaining, because I think there's a couple of conversations around AI. Firstly, for solopreneurs like ourselves or small business owners, it's incredibly powerful because it can just accelerate the way we can serve our customers
Yeah.
and our internal operating system. So I'm really excited about teaching women how to do that.
Yes.
Again, you're not taught that in corporate, and the sludge in corporate is the things that most people just accept as like this is normal.
Yes.
But what we are going to see, which I think opens up opportunity for us as solopreneurs, is that organizations are going to get rid of a lot of their workforce, because this is what
Yes.
happened in 2005 when I was a part of the digital transformation.
Yes.
So we got rid of all of the engineers, all of the marketers when we were implementing what we called digital strategic systems.
Mm-hmm.
Then within 2 years, they were all hired back as consultants.
Mm.
And
Yep.
so I'm seeing now what I think with AI is the consultants and creatives and coaches positioning themselves now to make sure they understand AI, because they will be the best positioned to go and serve the companies who have gotten rid of all their people and saying, so how do you
Yes.
actually work with it?
Yes.
Because organizations are great at removing humans but not changing the system of work.
Yes.
So even if you can produce 25 PowerPoints in 2 minutes, you need someone to action that work.
Yes.
So who's going to do that if you've gotten rid of all your people? So again, I'm kind of excited. I'm just like, let us get our ducks in order, because we're going to be the best positioned to serve them and get even more work in the future.
I hear that so much. And I think where I so agree with that. And I think where I sometimes trip myself up when I think about it is I'm like, what does this mean for marketing? Like, what does this mean for front end
Mm-hmm.
marketing?
Yeah.
And that's the piece that I'm still personally unclear of, because I mean, I get so granular on this because I start thinking about, well, when it comes to online marketing, like, are we going to have platforms that are just like our human selves? And then are we
Yeah.
going to have AI versions? How much kudos do we pay to, like, is it that we need to be 50% in the AI world and 50% doubling down on being human? And I think
Yeah.
this is something that I find fascinating. I'm working with clients who are AI specialists and personal
Mm.
brand experts. And I really believe in both of those things being of equal importance right
Yeah.
now. And sometimes I want to split myself in two a little bit, because I'm like, do I just need to go hard this way? Do I need to go hard that? I know that's not the answer. But
Yeah.
again, how do you think about that?
Yeah, this is so interesting because I was just reading a report this morning. I can't remember the name, but I'll get it for the show notes because I think your
Yeah.
listeners would really like it. And it was all about the future of fandom.
Okay,
And
amazing. Would love to read that.
it's about communities.
Yes.
Okay. Because of AI and exactly what you're talking about, it's like, how do we ensure that we're not just this AI version of ourselves when we're
Yes.
serving our clients? Because our clients it won't pass the sniff test.
Yes.
And they'll start to say, like, well, I'm actually not in this group. This is not, they don't represent me. I don't see them. And
Yes.
also with rising costs and pressure on the economy, more and more
Yes.
people, although they do want in real life experiences, they want really connected digital experiences where people are showing up.
Yes.
And the digital experience is leaving them feeling full versus
Yes.
I've just joined a webinar that it sold to me for 45 minutes of the time.
Totally. Yes.
And so how I'm thinking about this is really figuring out, how am I present?
Yep.
What does present mean for me, and what can only I do?
Yes.
Instead of saying, well, let me delegate to the AI.
Yes.
And what I'm delegating to AI now is more of the ops, if I'm being completely honest.
Yep.
I also think ads is really interesting, and how we're thinking about ads. I don't have the answer yet, but I see that whole model being disrupted.
Yes, agree.
And so I don't know the answer for that one, but I do think for communities and marketing in general, it's human first.
Yes.
And if you do sound too much like you're reading from a script and AI, people are calling it out.
I've noticed how like there's some really big players at the moment who are purposely making mistakes.
I've heard this. I've heard this.
like I heard an 8-figure business owner the other day who was like purposely making some mistakes on their webinar just to demonstrate that it was really them and it was intentional.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I
So
mean, I don't like it. That's just taking it too far for me.
it's so performative. So, I mean, total tangent. And I posted this on Instagram the other day and I got so many comments. There was this really big creator I follow and I genuinely really like her. And then she came out with this reel, and it's women who are doing this. Which really pisses me off, because I'm like, the tech bros actually know how to rally together.
Yes.
So I get really upset when we're calling each other out.
Yeah.
And she was saying, here are the 3 ways you know someone's used Claude in their content. Here are the 3 tells. And I'm like, who gives a crap?
We're all using
We're
it.
all using it. Like, are we just judging ourselves because we're better at hiding it?
Yes.
And is this where we're going now? What a waste of energy and effort.
It's so something that I've been doing inside my mastermind is showing how I'm human and AI.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is like, for example, if I'm doing like a strategic review, I'm showing to a client like, hey, you've given me your funnel. Here's what I did to make it better. I actually ran it through AI first. I pulled out these 3 things.
Yeah.
This is what I think we're missing. Overlay my strategic expertise onto this. And I think we should do
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z thing. And like really highlighting and showing that process. Because my view is that, you know, the most forward thinking businesses are the ones that are going to be incorporating AI. They're not going to be
course.
afraid of it. They're not going to be afraid to show how they use it, because that just promotes more transparency. But they're also going to demonstrate, and I personally see this every single day. I'm like, it's only as good as my strategic input.
Judgment and discernment. I know everyone is so
Literally.
over that, but and sorry to cut you off because I
No.
get passionate about this, but
Yeah.
I was saying the other day, so I was showing, I've redesigned some of my operations with how I support my clients.
Yes.
And now my whole, I use human design. So with Claude Code, I've now grabbed the human design API, and I've been able to
Yes.
create this really cool product.
Amazing.
Right? It would have cost me so much money even 12 months ago, and now I could just do it with, Claude Code, and it was amazing. And then I produced this portfolio career operating plan, which again, 6 months ago would have taken me like each one at least 25 hours to build. And now I've built a system. It took me 12 hours to build, but now it's repeatable. And so loads of people have said to me, oh, could you record how you did that so I can do it? And I'm like, I can absolutely show you the steps. But this is 20 years of experience.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to, my thing around what I learned at a law firm in 2005 that really stayed with me is encoded in my work.
Yep.
It's a part of my discernment.
Yes.
And that's why I can use AI the way I use it, I think.
Yes.
Because I know what I'm asking for.
Yes. I agree with
and
that so
this
deeply.
is where I feel like, and I don't want to be on my high horse, but I feel like this is where we need to help people understand. It's like junk in, junk out.
Yes. Say more.
Well, I mean, I just think if you are asking, you're not clear on what you want AI to do.
Yes.
You could build a system, sure. It's going to build anything you want. It's a part of its predictive model.
Yes.
But the system won't be good.
Do you know what? I always think about so whenever I'm using AI for my specialist areas.
Mm.
So whenever I'm using it for business, for strategy, for funnels, for marketing, for mindset stuff, I'm always, if I've prompted it well enough, I'm like 80% happy.
Yes.
And that's only when I've prompted it well enough.
Mm.
If I use it for things that are not my expertise, putting my baby to sleep,
I know.
nutrition,
Yeah.
like
Perimenopause.
I'm still in
You're
the
not.
fertility
Well,
year.
well,
I'm still
I'm
in the
not. Yeah.
reproduction years, but
I'm just thinking for
those things,
myself.
yeah,
I'm like,
totally.
I've totally messed up on perimenopause.
Well, no, but what I was going to say though is if I use it for any of those things that are not my specialism, I'm like, this is so smart. And the reason why is because it's doing what is good, but because I'm not an expert in it, I think it's so smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
And so this is the problem. This is why we're seeing so much
Mm.
mediocrity.
Yeah.
Because if you're like, oh, I don't need a business coach, I don't need a operations, but I don't need any of that because I'm just using AI and it's really working for me. It's like, but are you achieving your goals?
I know. It's so, and I also think you can really tell my age now, Ellie. I sound like an old woman.
That's all right.
But
Go
I
there.
always think about history, like understanding history, because I'm worried about the future of work for sure. But I've seen an iteration of this, right? In 2000, I was a part of the dot-com bubble.
Yes.
My degree was one of the first degrees that was literally the coding language I learned in 2001 was obsolete by 2004.
Yes.
So when I got into work in 2005, all of the systems I knew I was doing e-commerce as well. That was all old tech.
Yes.
So I've kind of feel like it's not at the same speed, but I'm like, guys, history repeats itself. And I feel like there will be this wash with AI and then the humans will re-enter. So I think there's that. But also if I look back at the 1970s, so I'm trying to write a book at the moment, which is the hardest thing I've ever done. And I'm in the research phase about work. And so if you look back to the 1970s, like similar things were happening in manufacturing.
Yes.
And actually, a lot of workers were on strike because they were putting robotics into manufacturing plants. And they were saying, these robots are taking our jobs. And there were strikes about this.
Huge. I really hope that everyone is like really listening to what you're saying right now.
But see, we're seeing, and this is why I think it's really important that we don't just, my whole point is don't outsource all of your knowledge to asking a question to an AI, because its job is to keep you engaged and it's the sum of parts.
Yes. Well, you're outsourcing your excellence to create mediocrity.
Yes, because it's a sum of parts.
Exactly.
And for me, I'm like, read a history book and go back and say, okay, what happened? What patterns can we discern of what's happened in the past to help us predict what will happen in the future? Because there are no new ideas, and humans are pretty predictable in the patterns we go through.
Yes. It's such a big argument for, and this comes back to like that way I think about it as like more human over here, more AI over here. And I do think as we're talking about this, I feel closer to the answer of being like, well, you actually do need to decide this is how I'm more human and this is where I'm doubling down on being more human and this is how I'm using AI and this is how I'm going to leverage it. And it's a decision. And as I think about that, I'm like, it's almost like not deviating from that. Like over here, I'm going to be more human. I'm going to run retreats.
Yes.
I'm going to continue to write bespoke strategy, but I will use AI with these systems of it to inform that bespoke strategy, you know, like really knowing exactly what that looks like.
And I've been in your mastermind, right? For 2 years, I was a part of it. And you do that balance really well, right? So you show up and I know that you will be fine, because I'm just like, I know you just know where your value is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing with new business owners, is really helping them understand, really understand where your value is extracted and then outsource the rest.
Okay, so can we come back to that? Because so you mentioned this before, but human design is a really big piece of how you work. And And it's so fun. This is where you become such a unicorn because it's like portfolio career over here, future
I
of
know I
work
don't sound
commentator
I don't
here,
sound like it. Then
human
it's like
design.
esoteric tool over here.
Well, it's what makes it fun because it's like it's actually the whole like three things. One of them slightly unique is what makes that unicorn. There's a model around that. I know there
Yeah,
is. I don't know the exact one, but there is one. And it's kind of why I did like strategy, marketing, and mindset when I first obviously
Mm,
like way more generic, but I was like, the mindset's the rogue one. Like having
yeah.
one that's like a little bit rogue, you always like stand
It
out
is your
because of it.
USP because they're
Totally
just like, oh,
is.
you do portfolio keys, but with human design. How
It's like, what?
interesting.
Yeah, tell us more. And what even is that?
Yeah.
So you said something before, which was basically like, and you didn't say it exactly this way,
Hmm.
but what I extracted was, focus on essentially where your humanness is. And it just got me thinking about energy
Hmm.
and really understanding your energy. And I just think so much of like something I come back to all the time is I'm like, there are so many patterns that I can find as to why, again, I'm going to use myself as the example because it's easy as to why people buy from me. I could do the same with you. It's
Mm.
like seeing the patterns. We could extract the data and go, this is why people are buying, this is how.
Hmm.
And also, I know that 99% of the time it's an energy thing.
Mm.
And so, how does somebody who's working out where they're more human and where they incorporate AI, how do they do that when it's basically a question of like, how do you maintain your energy? Like, do
Yeah.
you think about this in relation to human design? Do you have a process around that? I imagine that you
Yeah.
do.
So a part of when you come into my world, the first thing that we do is understand how you're designed to operate in your career and build a business.
Yeah.
And if for those of you who aren't familiar with human design, really quick overview. So human design is your personal operating system. It's an energetic system. It has the chakra system, a bit of astrology, and a few others, which I don't have to go into because I'll be here forever. But for me, it was the only system that scratched the surface of how I like to show up in the world. So I've done like Myers-Briggs and DISC and Hogan, and they only taught me about who I was in the context of the organization or of
Yes.
other. But human design taught me I'm a builder in human design. So I can naturally generate my own work when I'm literally lit up.
Mm-hmm.
And so lit up, it's like when someone says, oh, well, do work you love. Well, when I started this work in 2017, 2018, I was burnt out.
Yes.
So what I started to do is like, okay, what are the breadcrumbs of expansion? What do I really, where am I really excited and what feels in integrity? So if someone is asking the question of like, how do I use AI versus my humanness, I would ask them, so what's the thing that you're like, I love this. I don't want to outsource this, and get curious about that because a part of I mean, I also think we shouldn't be obsessed with outsourcing everything
Agree.
because that's what people are
Totally
buying
agree.
from us because they want to be served by us.
That's why I love high ticket.
I understand that completely. Like I didn't
Yeah.
when I came into your world
Yes.
initially because again, I was in the context, I was still working in corporate.
Totally. Yeah. Well,
Um,
you were already giving so much energy. It was
yeah,
like more energy.
but also in corporate, the context is the organization pays.
Yeah.
And so I
Yes.
was around a lot of people, which is totally changed now, by the way. And I
Mm,
was around a lot of people who were just like, I wouldn't pay for that for myself. But then when I was exposed to your world, I'm like, oh, these women know who they are. They're
yes.
high agency humans
Yes.
and they want to be, and they expect to be served by you.
Oh yeah.
And I love that. I'm like, bring
100%.
it.
So they should.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Let's talk communities.
Yeah.
So, for 99% of people listening, they run some sort of
Hmm.
community-based business, masterminds, memberships, group programs. What should we be thinking about? And what do you see as being the future of community?
Yeah.
And I'd love to know, if it's the same answer for online and offline, if
Hmm.
there's different answers there, you know, as part of that, are you like, must double down on in person as well as online? Or, just would love to hear your general thoughts on that.
Yeah, okay. So I'll start in the context of how I think about the future of community by what I'm seeing in the future of work.
Yes.
Because I call it the Hollywood model. So I think I think I may have spoken to you about it before, but I'll give you a really quick overview. So what we're seeing in the future of work, as I said, organizations shrinking, but they're still going to be able to, they still want to do major projects and work with
Yes.
really amazing humans.
Yes.
So what they've started to do is go out to the market and get different people like your producer, your director, your cinematographer. They
Yes.
create a team, they produce the product, and then the people disband. And so
Yes.
it's like a Hollywood model of way of working.
Yes.
And generally there's a producer that brings all of these people together and says, I've got this group and we should all work on this project together.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm also seeing happen in organizations is the role of the head of talent is not internally focused on succession plans. It's going out to communities,
Yes.
online communities, and saying, hey, which talent has marketing? Which talent has
Yes.
coaches we can bring in? Who knows
Yes.
about AI? And they're sourcing that talent from communities.
Amazing.
Isn't that just like the coolest? I think this is one of the most exciting things I've been researching about the future of work. So I thought, oh my gosh, all of us in
Yeah.
our world have the opportunity to be what I call producers.
Yes.
So giving our communities not just strategic insight and support, but also potentially connecting them with work.
When you told me about that, I was so excited about it because I feel like I've been doing that inside my space for
Mm-hmm.
so long. Like, even just by adding in, people who can serve in different ways
Yeah.
to my existing community. So to go, oh, hang on a second, organizations would potentially then come and want that
Yes.
as well.
I
Like,
think,
that's so exciting. And it's so
yeah,
true. It's coming back to your initial point. Like, it's thinking about it as being less like, oh, we left that organizational world and now we're
yeah.
consultants and we do things differently. And it's actually like, well, what does it happen if it's not so segregated?
And that's why actually I was really excited when you were mentioning, are you going to be more active on LinkedIn? Because it used to be that we had the big coaches or creators of the 2010s in this part of the world, and then we had corporate here. That is all deconstructing, and we're all a part of the same soup. And so I can absolutely see your mastermind also being a gateway for talent for different organizations, big and small.
Totally. Well, I'm even seeing it in like, for example, inside my mastermind and the mastermind model right now. Like, I've got someone inside my mastermind right now who is a transformation specialist for people inside organizations enacting change.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not change professionals.
Mm,
She's like, they're kind of like almost a bit averse to change professionals
yeah.
because they've got a different role. They come in, they're the ones who are inside creating change
Yeah.
in their roles of like head of product or whatever it
Yeah.
is, but they want to be part of a group so that they can enact change inside their organization.
Yeah. And
And like, that's her mastermind.
that will be happening en masse in the next 5 to 10 years.
And how exciting. And her
Oh, I
whole
love
thing
it.
is like, it's for, like advocates of change who are not change makers.
Yeah. And
But that's so specific. To me, that makes no sense. But to her ideal client, it's like, I'm that.
but it's also that you asked me about what do you think online, offline, the future of like what type of communities? Like you're going to have micro niche communities.
Yeah.
And so we also, I think, another mindset shift for communities, and certainly what I've been thinking about is I am one part of the value puzzle for a human. So
Yes.
you'll come to, my community, which is being renamed at the moment. It was a Portfolio Career Club, new name coming soon. And
Exciting.
so you'll come to me for if you're transitioning out of corporate within the first few years and you're looking to really understand how do you monetize your skill set and make bank,
Yes.
right? Like that's what I want my women to know that
Yes.
they can really make money doing this
Yes.
and structure their portfolio career around their human design.
Yes.
Then we have other communities like there's AI snack bites. And so I would partner with AI snack bites community and say, could we do a deal and collaborate because my community members would really value.
Yeah.
I don't want to be I'm not an AI specialist. I don't desire to be on, teaching Claude. That's just not my thing. But I'd certainly want to offer like that community out
Totally.
as a service offering. So I feel like that's going to be more of the ecosystem.
Yes.
And I'm kind of excited about it because a lot more agency.
Yes.
People are going to be more fluid about their work and we can all make more money, which is
Yes.
great.
Okay. So I want to finish up with just a bit of an overview,
Mhm.
and feel free to share, or as little or as much as you're willing to here, an overview of your portfolio
Yeah,
right
sure.
now. Like,
Okay.
I want to know what are your different diversification streams?
Hmm.
And then one further on that is how you think about which ones you're going to double down on into the future.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I love this question.
Great. Take us
So
there.
I have 5 income streams,
Yep.
but the important nature about any portfolio, whether it's financial portfolio or portfolio career, they don't fire at the same capacity all the
Yes.
time. That's not the point. Some are
One
riskier,
human.
some are really risky, some are
Yes.
ad hoc, and some are core. So I have 2 core income streams,
Yes.
and one of them is direct to consumer. And
Yes.
so I serve clients privately and within my community. And that is
Yes.
one of my core income streams. We built that
So
together
good.
when I was working with you. The other income stream, which I've just launched in partnership with another group of ex-consultants, is really
Yes.
supporting organizations to reimagine the future of work.
Amazing.
So that's a bespoke B2B offer and really supporting people. Well, how do you implement an AI workforce?
Yes.
And so they're the 2 I'm
Amazing.
really doubling down on.
Fantastic.
And my other income streams, I've got one called the Portfolio Designer, which supports women 6 to 12 months out of wanting to leave their corporate world to
Yes.
translate and excavate their skills
Amazing.
into income streams.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a couple of human design reports that people can purchase, which I've built with AI, which is really, I've
Amazing.
rewritten all the language myself, but I built it with AI, which is really cool.
So you used to have a very incredible multi-six-figure corporate
Hmm.
career. How does things compare now? Where are you at now?
I have, and I'm not just saying this, I went for a run yesterday and I posted on Instagram. I'm like, I'm living my dream life. I had 2 VIP days this last week. And my VIP days is I get to spend a full day with a woman wanting to scale her portfolio career using my corporate skills. I used to build businesses in private equity. That was my core job.
Yes.
And I did that for businesses. Now I do it mainly for individuals. And I got to spend the whole day working and scaling a business, which I gave a shit about.
Yep.
And if you ask me, even when we were at the beginning of my journey with you,
Yes.
I would just be like, that's a dream. That's never going to happen. And I actually just turned on this product 6 weeks ago because I
So
thought
good.
I want to support people deeper, be
Yep.
more inhuman, be more in person. And I'm already booked out for the next 3 months.
Of course you are.
But I mean, I'm not saying that to be like, a bit full of myself. But really, when you're
Girl, this
working
is
and
the
living in
place.
alignment, it's kind of magic, Ellie. It's like
Yeah.
it's magic.
And what you've created, and I mean, you don't need to get specific where you can, but like the revenue, how does it compare?
So the revenue is an interesting piece. So what I would say is I am exceeding I used to also earn pound. So because I lived in the UK for 8 years, I'm exceeding my monthly income working as a chief marketing and product officer, which I was at the private
Yes.
equity firm, and I exceed that monthly, which is, and I get to pick up my son.
Yes.
I'm a soccer mom.
And you're at like the very early stage
I'm
of
literally,
this.
in May, I celebrate 2 years. But I was
Amazing.
building, like I was slowly building when I was
Of
in corporate.
course.
But full time May, I actually had my business's birth chart read
Amazing.
recently,
Amazing.
and just for the energetics.
So good.
And yes, it is a client who does this, and she's like, you're not even 2 years old. I'm just like, wow, it feels a long time. Like I've always been doing this, but also,
Yes.
but this is what honestly aligned action.
Well, like you were so born to do the work that you're doing right now. And I think, yeah, aligned action, like seeing you in the way that you show up and go after what you believe in.
Mm,
You've created very clear niche pathway and you're all in on it and you're making really big moves. It's amazing. But
yeah,
it's so, the reason I ask those questions is because I want it to inspire people because I think that everything that you've spoken to today is very inspiring and there's a lot of future of work conversation that is not. And
yeah.
I just think that we're in an algorithm right now that is validating and affirming negative hooks.
Just think about who's saying that. That's what I encourage everyone.
Definitely. Yeah.
Just think about who is saying the negativity why they're saying it.
Yes.
And also, team, if everyone doesn't have a job, how is capitalism supposed to survive? Like,
Truly,
I know
truly.
if I really go down to the brass tacks, I'm just like, if no one has a job, I mean, this whole thing, none of this matters, and
Yes.
that they're not going to let that happen.
I love this conversation so
I know.
much.
Thank you,
Thank
Ellie.
you so much for being here. Is there anything you'd add to this?
Just that I think you're incredible.
Oh, thank you.
That's it.
Thank you. Love you. Love this
Love you.
conversation. So grateful.
Thanks.